It's a huge privilege to be a judge for these awards.
Being asked for the third year to do this is, for me, very personal.
It's an honour, and also it's an honour to be amongst other judges who I both respect and like.
To be a finalist in the Finance for Future Awards is a great recognition of our management team with a long tradition of sustainable commitment.
We're thrilled to be a finalist for the Finance for the Future Awards.
These awards are really important because it creates the movements that generates the passion and also it creates the integrated thinking in financial markets.
Setting up an award such as this is a great way of spreading the happy message about how you can succeed in doing your business while you're also moving into integrated thinking.
Driving change in the financial community is really valuable in terms of ensuring a more sustainable and ethical future for finance and for the world.
Well, hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to everyone here in the room in London, to our friends in Glasgow this evening, and everyone who's joining us online at all points of the compass. You are all very welcome here this evening. I'm Declan Curry. I've been talking about business and the economy and politics for 30-odd years, and I'm delighted to be one of your hosts here this evening for the Finance for the Future Awards ceremony here in London, along with Jackie Bird, who's at our Glasgow venue. This is a pivotal year for the awards. Not only did the awards receive outstanding entries, but it's also the first time that the awards have been broadcast from 2 live locations and also streamed on the web as well. And we will be joined online by some of our finalists in a virtual room. To keep the evening interactive, we're going to link between here in London and Glasgow throughout the awards. The Finance for the Future Awards were established to highlight that financial leadership is key to creating resilient, sustainable business models and to recognise and share examples of best practice by individuals, projects and organisations. Now in its 9th year, the awards are a partnership between ICAEW, Accounting for Sustainability and Deloitte. And this year the awards have also been supported by SSE. And I'm now delighted to welcome the Queen of Television, Jackie Bird, who's at the SSE in Glasgow. Jackie, good evening.
I'm liking that. Thank you very much. Hello, and thank you to Declan. Welcome to Glasgow, or for those of you watching on CNN, welcome to Edinburgh. We wanted to hold the awards during COP26 to further highlight the important role of finance in addressing the sustainability challenges we're facing and the innovative solutions that are being developed. Now, as Declan mentioned, the event is being live streamed. When has that ever gone wrong? If you'd like to follow the event on social media, or if you would like to join the conversation, please use the hashtag that will be appearing on your screen. Now, tonight we're celebrating 36 finalists from 12 countries, including Singapore, South Africa, India, the United States, France, if they're still speaking to us, and Kenya. We're delighted that so many of our international finalists can join us virtually this evening. Declan is now going to take us through the categories and the format of the evening to come.
Jackie, thank you very much. We have 5 categories that we will feature tonight. They are Innovative Project, Moving Financial Markets, the Geoffrey Uneman Award for Driving Change in the Financial Community, Communicating Integrated Thinking, and Embedding an Integrated Approach. Plus, we will recognise entries from across all 5 categories that demonstrate climate leadership. When we announce each winner, we will say a few words on why they have won. We will then invite the winner to the stage or to the screen if they're joining us virtually, and they'll be invited to say a few words. Let me emphasise a few words. Please do keep your remarks to no longer than 30 seconds. Now, in some categories, the judges have given a highly commended as a very close runner-up to the winner. We will, of course, congratulate them. We will applaud their success, but we will ask them to stay at their tables. If they want to come to the stage, they'll have to do better next year. Jackie Bird, back to you.
Thank you, Dec. Does that mean I'm Ant this evening? I'll do that. Now, this evening we'll be hearing from some truly inspirational thought leaders. But before we move on to the awards section of this evening, we're delighted to share a message with you from the founder of A4S, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be asked to share a few remarks on this, the 9th Finance for the Future Awards, hosted by my Accounting for Sustainability project in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants and Deloitte. Now, I'm only so sorry that I'm not able to be with you in person, but am instead zooming in to the live events in London and Glasgow, as well as broadcasting to those of you joining online. These awards, celebrating as they do practical examples of the role that finance can play to turn commitment into action, could not be more timely. Finance really does hold our future in its hands. Unless we can unlock private sector resource, innovation and finance, with the public sector setting a framework of incentives and regulation, we simply do not stand a chance of solving the existential crises we have engineered for ourselves over the years. Over the past 19 months, my Sustainable Markets Initiative has brought together over 300 global CEOs, forming a coalition of the willing. They have over $60 trillion in assets under management, and crucially, a determination to direct tens of trillions of dollars towards sustainable investment by 2030. With invaluable support from the world's 4 largest accountancy firms, including Deloitte, we are identifying the roadblocks to sustainable growth and the practical solutions which would shift them out of the way. Earlier this year, I announced the Terra Carta, a practical blueprint for action with 3 key priorities identified by participating CEOs. Firstly, a framework that will help drive finance and investment from the private sector to the highest priority sustainability projects around the world. Secondly, 10 Terra Carta transition alliances aiming to drive tens of trillions of dollars in sustainable investment and industry action for transition across 10 of the highest emitting and polluting industries. And thirdly, recommendations on the market signals from governments that would help the private sector and private investment accelerate their efforts across industries. Underpinning these priority areas, and I'm sure of particular relevance to you as finance and accounting professionals, is access to the data and metrics necessary to inform decisions. When I first established Accounting for Sustainability back in 2004, my aim was to help ensure that we were not battling to meet 21st century challenges with, at best, 20th century decision-making and reporting systems. I'm relieved to hear that 17 years later, so not before time, real progress is being made. Tomorrow, a key focus of discussions at COP26 will be on finance, including, I hear, the establishment of the IFRS Foundation's International Sustainability Standards Board. Accounting for Sustainability, A4S, has contributed to this progress by bringing together many of the key global organizations involved in the reporting arena. Firstly, through the establishment of the International Integrated Reporting Council at a roundtable that I hosted in 2009, and then the Task Force for Climate-Related Financial Disclosures in 2015. Additionally, A4S works with CFOs and investors to support the practical adoption of reporting frameworks to drive better decisions. I am delighted that A4S is working closely with the SMI across the 10 Terra Carta Transition Alliances to develop and adopt these sustainable accounting approaches within these key sectors. Of course, having the metrics and data to measure and report on progress is critical for informed decisions to be taken, but far from sufficient. As the Finance for the Future awards show, integrated thinking and decision-making are absolutely critical. An understanding of a company's impacts on nature, people and planet needs to be embedded into every decision that is made, taking into account the true value of natural and social capital. Ladies and gentlemen, since the awards were created, there have been over 226 finalists from more than 35 countries, demonstrating the power of finance to achieve the innovation we need to embed nature, people and planet into decision-making and to communicate that all-important integrated approach through their reporting. I can only urge you to take inspiration from these finalists and to turn commitment into action. Now, I'm sure that you are all eager to find out whether you have won the awards this evening, and I understand that they have been particularly competitive this year. So I will, if I may, conclude by congratulating all of the finalists and winners and leave you with one final point. In the build-up to and during COP26, it is encouraging to see so many from the private sector making ambitious commitments to net zero. However, with action on climate change, biodiversity loss, and a just transition more critical than ever, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm relying on you all to turn commitment into action and set an inspiring example to others.
Thank you to His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, who, as we heard there, has long been ahead of the game on this entire issue, making it clear the importance, the role of the finance community in achieving swift and, as he said, significant action. Well, let's dig a little deeper into that. I'd now like to hand over to Jessica Fries, Executive Chairman of A4S, and Sharon Thorne, Global Board Chair at Deloitte. Over to you, Jessica.
Thank you very much, and a warm welcome from A4S to everyone here in Glasgow, in London and online. As His Royal Highness said, A4S has been established and working hard to explore the role that all parts of the finance and accounting world play in achieving a sustainable future. Now, here in Glasgow, of course, a sustainable future for all of us is very much on the agenda, and we know that we're currently falling far short of the kind of action that we need to keep 1.5 degrees centigrade, which already has significant impacts on the lives and livelihoods of many around the world, within sight. So I'd like to ask Sharon, from your perspective, what does COP26 need to achieve to be considered a success, particularly in that kind of context?
Well, firstly, thank you, Jessica. It's great to be here. And I guess, for me, to tackle the existential threat facing humanity and the planet, government, business, and wider society must collaborate in a way they have never done before and commit to decisive, meaningful, and measurable action. We have to keep 1.5 alive and achieve the key aims of COP26 to agree the rules that will make the Paris Agreement operational. We need to see more countries bring their emissions targets forward and make them legally binding. Ambitious 2030 targets that align with reaching net zero by the middle of the century are crucial, and this is the decisive decade. But carbon reduction is only part of the necessary change. Nature, conservation, biodiversity, these are all vital to the future, and we need to see more agreement and rapid progress around these. We have to accelerate the momentum we've seen over the past few years, and a crucial component to all of this is investment. At the Global Investment Summit earlier this month, it was inspiring to hear from business leaders and government, including Boris Johnson, the UK's plan to decarbonise and the green initiatives they're funding. As Bill Gates noted, investing in green technology is not yet economical. The green premium is currently very high, and rich nations need to invest heavily to scale the solutions and make them affordable and usable for the rest of the world. The investment and the infrastructure must be there in order to enable this global, just transition. And we need to see more investment commitments, including getting to the $100 billion per annum that has been promised to developing countries. And whatever is agreed between countries in the next couple of weeks, we also need to see more commitment from business, because we have a key role to play. And if we as businesses collaborate radically with governments and wider society, I'm confident that we can tackle the threat of climate change.
So we need to have high ambitions. We're falling short at the moment. And there's that key role for finance. As His Royal Highness said, tomorrow the focus of COP26 is going to be on climate and finance and the role that finance plays. So can you say a little bit more about how you would see finance closing that gap between ambitions and reality?
So I think, one of the things His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, said, which really resonated with me, was that finance holds our future in its hands. And I think finance leaders are pivotal to any change that business can make. The CFO is the strategic heartbeat of most businesses and has a key responsibility for taking action on climate change. CFOs need to be the catalyst for their organisation to drive real change by integrating how climate impact is measured and reported, and by translating long-term climate targets into immediate action. And it's important to point out that it's not about curtailing activity. It's about grasping the very real opportunity that exists. And our latest Deloitte CFO survey found that 88% of CFOs can see opportunities in the climate transition. And after all, it's the finance department that leads many crucial innovations, some inherently financial, like internal carbon pricing, and some implementing new technologies. And there are many finance leaders who are already doing this, and I'm sure we'll hear more of these inspiring stories later this evening. There's also so much exciting tech innovation that addresses the many complex scientific and engineering challenges of climate change, such as the aviation sector developing sustainable aviation fuels, and platforms such as the EarthTech Innovation Platform, seeking to solve the funding gap. These innovations can be difficult for the business to understand, and one thing I've seen the very best finance leaders do is to make the science real, to make it accessible so that the wider business can relate to it. This motivates the whole organisation to work together to implement the innovations that are so urgently needed. So finance has a key role.
I'm glad to hear it, given that we're in the Finance for the Future Awards, and clearly the focus of my work and our work for many years. Now, building into COP26, I think one of the important things of a summit like this is the way that it inspires, triggers people to think about the kind of commitments, the action that they need in the build-up to COP26, clearly over these 2 weeks, and as we move forward out of COP to really accelerate progress. What has stood out for you so far? What kind of things should people be looking forward to in the next few days and weeks?
So I think, the overwhelming commitment from so many to drive change is something I've seen a lot of. And yes, we're at a critical juncture, and the clock is about to strike midnight. However, there is optimism about how we can change our trajectory if we act now. So as I just referenced, there's tremendous innovation that addresses the complex scientific and engineering challenges of climate change. A great example is the Earthshot Awards, and if you haven't seen these, I encourage you to look into it more. It's a really inspirational movement. And each of these winners has provided solutions to part of our environmental challenge. And there's a role now for the business community to scale these solutions to the global level. We've also got the announcement of the International Sustainability Standards Board, which His Royal Highness mentioned, which is going to be critical to, a critical development for everyone in finance, going to provide some much needed clarity and consistency for finance teams as they report on sustainability. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the commitments and importantly, the actions that are going to come out over the next few days and weeks from governments, from businesses and other organisations, because it is now or never.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to Sharon and thank you to Jessica. So now, let us go back to London for the first of our awards.
Jackie, thank you very much. Some really interesting food for thought there. Those of us in the room in London and Glasgow, the food is yet to come, but I promise you it will be here soon after we hear from our 5 categories. The first of which tonight is Innovative Project, which recognises innovations that have the potential to transform organisations to be more sustainable. The finance team must be integral to this project, or the project must have potential to shift how the finance teams operate. To learn more about the finalists in this category, here's an overview of the entries.
This year we were looking for projects that had the potential to change an organisation to be more sustainable. An integral part of this category was that the finance team must be an integral part of this innovation project, or that the project must have the potential to shift how finance teams operate.
We need to transform the financial professions. We need organization to start using other ratios that only financial ratios, and we hope that the tool we are developing and we experimented with NEPSEN will help organizations to do so and to achieve sustainability for all.
So this project was helping to fund the next wave of electric vehicle chargers across Greater Manchester. And the real reason it was innovative is because we brought in funding from day-to-day people to invest into the project and really start connecting the people with the sustainable infrastructure they want to see in their region.
We are bringing together more than 120 institutions ranging from pension funds, asset managers, banks, rating agencies, engineering, insurance, consulting, climate risk data providers, all working together to advance very practical solutions that address what is considered to be a very acute mispricing of physical climate risk in investment decision making.
Essentially, every bank customer has the opportunity to view their individual impact per each bank transaction. This provides transparency, which ultimately guides the bank account owners towards a more sustainable lifestyle and hence also enables them to invest more sustainably so that there will be a greener and more sustainable infrastructure in the future.
So those were the entries for the first award tonight, the Innovative Project. Weren't they remarkable? Give them all a round of applause. And to present this award, please join me in welcoming to our stage here in London Paul Druckmann, Chairman of the World Benchmarking Alliance and the head judge for this award. And Paul, if you could please announce tonight's winner.
No. Okay, Innovative Project. This finalist was selected as the winner because of the outstanding practical collaboration between business and academia. Their accounting model has a transparency that does not seek to combine different impacts, but shows rather how the business can be profitable while delivering on a range of environmental limits and social foundations. I'm very pleased to announce that the winner is Audencia and NEPSEN.
And there is our winner joining us now virtually. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you very much. Very surprised. We are extremely grateful to you, ICAEW, and the for the organization of these awards and for the finance for culture judges for giving us such a recognition of our work. It's incredible, and And thank you for to audiences and sales team without whom this wouldn't have happened. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's entirely our pleasure. Congratulations. So we say congratulations to our first winner. Paul, thank you so much for your assistance. Jackie Bird has the next category for us, which is moving financial markets.
Thank you very much, Declan. And can I say we've had some lovely canopies here in Glasgow, have we not? Food for thought and real food too. Now, this award recognises organisations that have investment activities, products and services that demonstrate ambition to build a more sustainable financial system for the future. To learn more about the finalists in this category, let's now have a look at an overview of their work.
So in the moving financial markets category, we're looking for three main things. First of all, we're looking for sustainability to be thoroughly embedded in the activity, product or service. But we're also looking for it to be very much aligned with the organisation's wider strategy to create system value. Secondly, we're really looking for a demonstration of those social and environmental outcomes, as well as delivering positive financial returns. And thirdly, we're looking for market leadership, and has the organisation involved its wider stakeholders to increase uptake and adoption?
Today, with nearly 40,000 employees in more than 40 countries, 84 of our CapEx is aligned with the demanding European taxonomy of sustainable activities, with a commitment of reaching 90% by 2025.
So at Carbon Tracker, sustainability is at the core, and it's not of our activities, and ultimately it's about encouraging others and providing others with the information to take investment decisions that help the world transition away from using fossil fuels, ultimately to achieve a more sustainable global society.
Globalance deploys a refined methodology to assess sustainable impacts for all asset classes, so all our investments are sure to help contribute to positive impact.
I guess where we really feel that we have a leadership position is in terms of the sustainably themed strategies that we've developed. So one of them being sale and leaseback, next one infrastructure equity, and finally and more recently our real asset debt fund.
So sustainability is embedded in that we're able to offer this financing to healthcare providers. And it means then when this financing is given to these providers, then they improve quality. And once they improve quality, then it means then patients or members of public then get affordable but quality services from these healthcare providers.
By enabling decision makers incorporate ESG considerations into their analysis, we are driving systemic change and helping the transformation of the capital markets towards a greener economy and more sustainable economy.
We make sure that we're working with fund managers who have embedded environmental, social and governance factors into their processes. We're very kind of careful with our stewardship and engagement activities with the companies we invest in.
Unless investors move their portfolios from maximising only for financial returns to social and environmental returns, it's going to be hard to achieve the sustainable ecosystem that we want. So our products and services enables investors to do just that.
Well, there we have our finalists. And to present this award, please welcome Marty McBride, Managing Director of CDSB, and one of the judges for this category. Hello.
Goodness, that's a huge responsibility. The people served by this organisation we're giving the award to tonight are amongst the most financially excluded in the world. This project enables them to improve healthcare for their communities. It's innovative in its use of fintech, and it's already being scaled up. I'm delighted to announce that the winner is Medical Credit Fund.
Here we are. We have a happy fellow. Congratulations to you. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much. Indeed, this comes as a big surprise. Thank you so much. I think the biggest winners tonight is the healthcare providers who partner with us from Access Foundation and Medical Credit Fund for what they do in impacting and giving healthcare access to patients. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think the smile says it all. Congratulations again, Medical Credit Fund. And I'm delighted to say that we have a highly commended in this category. Marty, would you like to reveal who's highly commended?
I certainly would. So this team combined experience, traditional financial skills, as well as innovative AI techniques, as well as integrating the SDGs into their framework. No mean feat. We were particularly impressed by the purposeful passion and collaboration shown by this core team. The highly commended has gone to Net Purpose. Well done.
Well done to them. Congratulations to all. Declan, would you now like to introduce our next award?
Thank you, Jackie. Our next category is the Jeffrey Uneman Award for Driving Change in the Finance Community. This year, the Driving Change in the Finance Community Award is dedicated to the memory of Jeffrey Uneman. He was a prominent academic in sustainability accounting and a true friend and supporter of these awards. This award recognises the contribution of individuals, organisations or joint entrants in driving action to integrate sustainability through education, training and academia. To learn more about the finalists in this category, let's take a look at the overview for their entries.
I think driving change is, well, everybody knows there's so many reasons why change is important, and not only driving change as one by one, but also see how we can work together much more to have some kind of exponential change.
The Executive MBA Chief Value Officer is completely dedicated to change practices in finance for sustainability. We take finance professionals where they are now, and we bring sustainability into their practice.
We take a very much evidence-based approach, looking at the latest science, whether that's around climate change, biodiversity loss, or inequality and some of the broader social challenges that we're facing into. And we work then extensively both with individuals, but also directly with financial institutions.
Our goal is to grow the sustainable finance ecosystem. We do this through capacity building, research, events, and advisory work. Our aim is to assist financial institutions on their sustainable finance journey.
Too often the SDGs are dismissed as only for national or corporate reporting. And through this work, we've shown they're an adaptable framework and a common language that gives a clear vision and direction to everyone. We all know that collaborating across sectors, different types of organisations and at all levels is the only way we'll make the future we want a reality.
We have used sustainable finance actually affecting business change and affecting business culture and behaviours in three very large corporates already. Plus, we have launched a valuation programme at a county level, looking at how county agri-food and farming should be assessed to move it up the cabinet table.
The work what we are doing and the methodology what we are applying makes sustainability information and financial information consistently being integrated in sustainability accounting systems. So this enables in the end executives and the finance community to integrate sustainability aspects directly into decision making and steering.
So the development of the program is really in response to shifting the mindset of the finance professional from this one dimension, which is largely about, currently focusing on financial capital and the economy aspects, towards more holistic thinking.
Another great set of examples. Let's give them all a round of applause to congratulate them. And to present this award, please welcome Ian Wright, Managing Director of Reputation and Influence at ICAEW.
Thank you, Declan. Hello, everyone, here in London, in Glasgow, and watching online. This entry has made an exceptional individual contribution, grounded in rigorous empirical research. The finalists' Trojan horse approach implicit in his growing the pie concept is both creative and impressive. He has successfully communicated his thinking widely and effectively, bringing sustainable finance into leading finance textbooks and mainstream finance education. I'm delighted to announce that the winner is Alex Edmonds.
Now, unfortunately, Alex cannot be with us this evening, cannot attend the ceremony this evening, but we will make sure that he receives his award. We also have a highly commended in this category. Ian, if you could do the honours, please, and tell us who that is.
Thank you again, Declan. The judges were impressed with this entry's dedication to building and growing the world's first MBA, solely focused on multi-capital performance, control and audit. The programme is creating the leaders of tomorrow and equipping them with the skills to assess societal and environmental impacts alongside financial performance. So, Declan, I'm pleased to announce Audencia as highly commended.
So we say congratulations to Alex Edmonds, our winner, to Audencia, or highly commended. Ian Wright, thank you for your assistance. And we go back to Glasgow for the next part of the evening, and to Jackie Bird.
Yes, congratulations to all our winners and our highly commended so far. We are now joined by another guest. Can I first introduce once again Jessica Fries? I'm getting a bit afraid for my job, Jessica. And we're going to have some words of wisdom now. We're joined by Gregor Alexander, Finance Director at SSE. Welcome.
Thanks a lot, Jackie, and thank you for joining us, Gregor, and hosting us here today. One of the things that I think that last award for me, and particularly knowing Geoffrey and having been inspired by him for so many years, he's really inspired current and future generations of accountants to think about purpose and think about how through accounting skills you can really shape and influence the future. I'd love to hear from you, looking back at your career, what was it that made you realise sustainability was key to business success?
Hi, Jessica. Good evening, everyone. It's always a difficult question when you're looking back in your career. I think the key thing is creating real value and doing the right thing. It's really important. But if I look over the last 30 years, and I've been a chartered accountant over 30 years, I've been with SSE over 30 years. I've seen kind of 9 UK general elections. I've seen 3 recessions. The financial crash, you learned so much during that time. We've seen a couple of referendums, one for the EU, one for Scottish independence, and we've seen a pandemic. But one thing that's continued to be really at the forefront is sustainability. And I think for me, working for SSE for that period of time, and previously Scottish Hydroelectric, where we brought the energy to the glens through the hydros, I think that created a great backdrop for that sustainability message. And being part of the community as well is really important. So I think if we look at what our values are, and in SSE we have 6 values, sustainability is the heart of that, and I think that has been part of my DNA. I also think that being a good Scottish chartered accountant, ethics and sustainability are at the heart of what we do, and that's important. And that's what we have to build the future generation of accountants, because sometimes we're too focused on rules and we need to focus on principles.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely true. And I think one of the things that you really see coming through from some of the finalists and the winners. Now, I know you've been on both sides of that fence. So you've been a previous winner, one of the judges this year, and of course involved in AFRES's work as one of the founding CFOs of our leadership network many years ago now. How would you see the awards in terms of the role that they can play? Earlier with Sharon, we were talking about the scale of the challenge we face. I mean, how can something like awards play their part in really enabling sustainability to be at the heart of every financial decision that gets taken?
Well, I mean, we're very lucky, as I say, have won awards in the past. It's great to be doing this type of event. You know, this building is very close to my heart because we bought it 10 years ago. It's got great views in Glasgow. Having worked and been at university here, it's a great place. So having Glasgow and London, I think, is really important. But ultimately, you know, we all need recognition. And if, you know, you and I have judged this year, and the quality of the submissions, I think, has been immense. That kind of teamwork and kind of focus has been really good. And I think these awards are something that teams look at on a kind of yearly basis and get really encouraged. And we need to encourage that. And it's great to see some of the younger generation coming through.
Yeah, and I think we've seen from some of the reactions tonight just how much some of the awards and winning the awards can mean. And we've also heard little snippets of some of the stories from the finalists. And I would encourage everyone after the ceremonies today to find out more. We'll be sharing more detail around some of the finalists, because I think there were some real nuggets, some real gems in there that we certainly hope can inspire many other organisations. And I know that previous award winners have really driven that inspiration. But one of the key things that we really see as a thread through a lot of the finalists is that question of leadership, and leadership at all levels. So what kind of qualities does an organisation need to have to really be making progress towards that sustainable future when it comes to some of that leadership agenda?
Well, how long have you got? I could give you the HR kind of 200-book version, or I'll give you the Greg Alexander version. It's not rocket science. You know, it is. You know, you have to have belief, but you've kind of got to walk the talk. You know, and as a leader, you've got to have good people that work for you that want to kind of really drive things forward. And you've got to be leading rather than being brought across. And in SSE, we like to think, you know, being one of the first to get involved in social capital, natural capital, we've just put something out in Just Transition. I think that's really important when you're leading. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because people say, I don't quite agree with that, but that's all right. And when we're trying to take things forward, I think that's really important. So walk the talk. Yeah. That's the key.
I suspect people were very grateful to have had that answer rather than the HR book, but I'm sure there were some very good ones out there. One final question that I would like to ask is what you would encourage everyone to do here in the audience in Glasgow, in London, online. What is the key action that you think everyone needs to be taking in the next 12 months, or to be honest, in the next month, in the next days and weeks?
Well, I think with COP, we will all kind of think about what behavioural aspects that we need to do as individuals and as businesses. But as we're amongst accountants, I think it's probably measurement, and it's probably how do we measure carbon? And you know, every ounce of carbon is really important. So how do we take that forward? So I would say measurement of carbon, and I think that's probably apt in today's kind of world of COP.
Yeah, measurement and measuring the reduction, and is it on track?
That's right.
Thanks a lot, Gregor.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Jessica.
you very much. Thank you. A call to action indeed. Thank you, Gregor. And thank you very much, Jessica. Now, events like this are very grateful for the experience and time shared by many contributors. So let's take a moment to meet some of our judges.
I'm Paul Druckmann. I'm a former president of the Institute.
My name's Alison Bypond. I'm the Sustainability Policy and Innovation Lead at Ecology Building Society.
My name is Rodney Irwin. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the World Business Council for Sustainable Development.
I'm Julie Baddeley, and I'm a non-executive director on several boards, but I'm also the chair of Chapter Zero, which is the UK network that equips non-execs for tackling the climate change issues in the boardroom.
Hello, my name is Caroline van Leenders. I work for the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality of the Netherlands, and I'm a policy advisor on greening finance.
Hi, I'm John Elliott. I'm a non-executive director at the Capitals Coalition, the Environment Agency and University Hospitals Dorset.
Hi, I'm Philippa Kelly, Director of Financial Services at ICAEW.
It's a huge privilege to be a judge for these awards. We get to see the work being done by some of the leading companies in the world. And as well as being amazed and encouraged by these great examples, I can take this practice into my own board roles and share it with my members of Chapter Zero.
I am absolutely delighted to be a judge. Ecology was a winner in 2019 of the Moving Financial Markets category, and we're very pleased to be able to share Ecology's own insights.
I feel proud and privileged to have been a judge. I've been a judge for a number of years now and have been lucky enough to see how the awards have developed in scope and importance to such that they are now recognised globally.
It's a real privilege to be a judge in the Finance for the Future Awards, and I love seeing the range of different projects and organisations who are all contributing to a greener, cleaner world.
I am aware what goes into the creation of a submission. And for me, being a judge and judging other people's work is something I take very seriously.
We know that the financial system must change really, really quickly, and there isn't one solution that's going to be the magic bullet. We're going to need many, many different solutions. And I think the Finance for the Future Awards are a really positive way of helping to create change within the financial system.
Anybody that enters the Finance for the Future Awards knows that they are very rigorous, and therefore being submitted, being shortlisted, and ultimately winning such an award is really important for that project.
It was also interesting to see that driving change can also happen within companies, within community initiatives. So driving change is not something that you do in one part of the world. Everybody has to work together to drive change. So it was interesting to see the variety of entries that are part of this movement.
It goes back to something that I believe these awards are all about, and that is about not just rewarding those who are the best, but actually showcasing them to show that that others, their peers, as well as capital markets and others, what is the best out there and why.
There we have our judges. Thank you for their time and for their expertise. And now to their next judgment. The penultimate category this evening is Communicating Integrated Thinking. This award recognises organisations that are practising authentic integrated thinking and are communicating this to their providers of financial capital. To learn more about the finalists in this category, now let's watch them at work.
And what we were particularly looking for was how they demonstrated the impact across the value chain and how they measured it, how the organisation communicated with their investors and dealt with feedback, and also how organisations use sustainability in their capital allocation decisions.
At British Land, we have a strong business case for sustainability because occupiers want more sustainable buildings, so it's integral to the way we do business. We're communicating that in our financial results, in our annual report, and in the way that we speak to our analysts and our investors.
We do an awful lot of engagement with our investors, a lot of engagement with our suppliers, and equally it's about sharing best practice. So, we've taken part in a number of panels or websites where people are trying to showcase and help other businesses know where to start on their journey to become more sustainable enterprises.
The finance team was an early advocate of integrated reporting and sustainability reporting. Both our integrated annual reports and sustainability reports are designed to cater to different stakeholders and their needs.
So we're communicating our integrated approach via our various reporting mechanisms. So we embed it within our corporate responsibility report, our annual report, our proxy, as well as within our investor outreach. And we leverage existing frameworks in the ecosystem to help build a very consistent and dynamic message.
So with our own software, we launched an ambitious program that not only allows us to measure our progress against our sustainability goals, but also enables us to communicate our progress through enhanced disclosures in our 10K, our proxy, and our stakeholder impact report.
So we're communicating that with webinars, with our investors, with the road shows, with annual reports and accounts, disclosures, the task force for sustainable development, and through the scenarios that we're building, showing how we will progress towards 1.5 degree climate warming.
What we've done is we've created a fully integrated annual report, and it's not just the numbers, it's people, it's planet, it's our supply chain, it's our customers, our ambassadors, it's everyone that we work with, trying to give equal representation.
Sustainability and traceability are key items in our 2020 strategy update. These themes are triggered by trends such as climate, digitalization, and consumer attention towards sustainability performance.
Shall we show our appreciation for our nominees? But there has to be a winner, and Gregor knows who it is.
Thank you, Jackie. The finalists clearly demonstrated how they had embedded integrated thinking across their communications and how operating in a sustainable way is a prerequisite for profit. The judges were inspired and impressed by their overall approach and the impact they aim to achieve. I'm very pleased to say that the winner is Yara.
Well done to Yara, but I also think we are joined virtually by a very happy man who'd like to say a few words, no doubt.
All right, thank you very much. This is an honour. It's very encouraging for everyone at Yara to be selected for this. We know so many companies are running their business communicating in an integrated way. And probably more than anything, we appreciate the awareness this award creates for companies everywhere to keep driving change within finance and within their wider business. So thank you again. Thank you again.
Thank you. Congratulations, and many congratulations. Would you like to say?
That's my CFO, by the way. So. He's the boss, and I'm the one who measures success.
Well done. Enjoy your evening and enjoy your award.
Website very good as well.
Congratulations to all our winners and all our highly commended so far this evening. All the judges agreed it was very challenging, as you can imagine from hearing the stories, to select the winners this year. So please join me in congratulating all our finalists, please. I'm sure you'll agree that we've heard some very inspiring, some very practical examples that you can take with you this evening. We're now going back to London for our final section of the ceremony.
Jackie, I thought you'd given us a real Oscar moment there where we had one winner on the card and another winner who thought they got it in the hole, but thankfully they were both from the same company and we congratulate them. Our final award tonight is Embedding an Integrated Approach. This award recognises organisations which have successfully embedded sustainability in their overall strategic and decision-making processes. The award showcases how the finance team plays a critical role in achieving this. To learn more about the finalists in this category, let's see the overview.
We can only deliver the changes we need if the whole organization and its customers and its suppliers are working together. And that's why the integrated approach category is so important, because it's about joined up thinking, it's about collaboration and partnering, it's about engaging strategy, operations, investor relations, marketing, even HR within the business, as well as finance. And we want to see sustainability embedded in business strategy, planning, reporting, risk management. So part of the DNA of the organization.
Healthier people, healthier planet is embedded in everything that we do. Whether it is our working well policy and commuting to the office, or it's acquisitions that we make, CapEx decisions, we are now taking a people, planet and performance lens.
So we've worked really hard to embed sustainability in all aspects of the work we do, including in strategic thinking. For example, we've had to develop our risk assessment to include the impact of climate change on our business, and we've reported that in the TCFD reporting disclosure that we made last year.
We have set up a very ambitious target in terms of CO2 reduction, by which not only we are installing more than 7 gigawatt a year of new renewable capacity, but also we have accelerated the shutdown of conventional generation, especially the most polluting one.
At Mars, finance is a business transformation enabler. And as a function, we feel in sustainability we should apply the same rigor as in our P&L and balance sheets. This will ensure accurate measurement, integration in the business, and ultimately secure the delivery of our sustainability goals.
We are proud of the progress that we have made to embed sustainability in our governance and decision-making at all levels. In fiscal 22, including being a net zero company across our full value chain. What we do is we make technology as a tool to drive change in our sustainability cloud. We make this within a net zero for 100% renewable energy.
When it comes to integrating sustainability into business, the proof is really in the pudding. It's not about the words, it's about the measurable achievements that you can do. So pointing at the catalyst systems which have halved our greenhouse gas emissions, and also pointing at how we help farmers, the end users of our products, optimize the use of our products rather than to maximize sales.
Driven by the unique responsible banking ethos, Yes Bank has mainstreamed and will continue to mainstream sustainability within the organization and among its broader spectrum of stakeholders.
Well, we've got an integrated approach that's allowed us to make much better decisions, to evaluate investment opportunities in quite a unique way, really, so that we always aim to optimize as many of the 6 capitals as we possibly can when we make our investment decisions.
Again, another strong slate of candidates. Let's give them all a round of applause. But as always, there can only be one winner, and to tell us who it is, I'm delighted to invite to our stage Michael Itza, who's the Chief Executive of ICAEW, and he will present the award. Michael.
So this entry demonstrated how the Healthier People, Healthier Planet strategy was built into all areas of business and supported this with very practical examples. They brought their employees on the journey too, with learning embedded throughout the organisation and KPIs being part of regular management reporting. I'm very pleased to announce the winner is Britvic.
And if you'd like to say a few words, please do.
Wow, thank you very much. An incredibly strong field, and I'm sure all of the other people who submitted as well are making incredible progress and trying really hard to make this normal and make this business as usual. So thank you to everyone else in the room and in Glasgow and everyone else. But big thank you to our finance team as well, and for our exec team for really embracing healthier people, healthier planet, and challenging everyone at Britvic to ensure that, we create a better tomorrow. Thank you very much. This is incredible.
So our congratulations to Britvic, the winner of the award. The category also has a highly commended. Michael, if you could tell us who that is, please.
Well, this finalist stood out with their articulation of how they had embedded integrated thinking into their strategy, taking a long-term view of performance across social, environmental and economic dimensions. Their approach showcased the skills of finance and how they've adopted both a top-down and bottom-up approach. We'd like to highly commend Mars. So congratulations to all the winners and to the highly commends. Indeed, congratulations to all the finalists in what was an incredibly high-quality set of entries. I've been delighted to see the Finance for the Future Awards go from strength to strength over the years. The number of entries has risen and the geographic reach has widened. And it's been a pleasure for us to work with our good friends at Accounting for Sustainability and Deloitte. In the years that these awards have been running, the world has changed. The green and fair agenda was once seen as a minority concern. Now it's centre stage. Who here has not experienced the impact of the threefold crisis of climate, massive loss of nature, and rapidly increasing inequalities? This is affecting us all, personally, in our organisations, and through those we know and do business with. The catastrophe we face is not just a tragedy on the horizon, it is the here and now. The time to act is now. There has been so much hype and speculation around COP26, and after it's over, we'll be in danger of losing momentum, maybe even feeling let down. But this is a joint endeavour for us all. We can't wait, like children around a Christmas tree, for the parents to hand out the presents. We've got to be engaged and ambitious. We must all be radical. We must all be climate activists. For years, we've been advocating the central role chartered accountants have to play in embedding sustainability in business decision-making and disclosure. At ICAEW, we've placed the Sustainability Development Goals at the heart of who we are and what we do. ICAEW has a large worldwide membership, so most of our impact comes through making sure that our members are professionally ready to tackle the crises that the world faces. But we recognise that our organisation must also play its part. ICAEW committed to become carbon neutral in 2020. We now have a roadmap for driving out emissions in our business. This journey for ICAEW was initiated by the late Geoffrey Uneman, Professor of Accounting at Lancaster University, an ICAEW member, a member of our council, and a friend. It's fitting, therefore, that the Driving Change Award this year was renamed in honour of Geoffrey.
Indeed it was. Michael, thank you very much. Michael, it's the Chief Executive of the ICAEW. Thank you very much. We're now going to the last part of our awards, the 2021 Climate Leaders Award. And for that, I'm delighted to welcome to our stage the Vice Chair of Deloitte UK and Global IFRS and Corporate Reporting Leader, Veronica Poole. Veronica.
Hello to everyone here in London and in Glasgow, and of course virtually. Today, we are celebrating examples of climate leadership. While the spotlight is on Glasgow and on the political leaders at COP26, at these awards, we want to focus the spotlight on business and the role of finance. We know that we all must collaborate and learn from each other if we are to have a chance of success in addressing the existential challenge of climate change. And that is why we want to showcase some inspiring stories from our finalists. As a judge, I was touched and I was energized by the amazing stories of individuals, small businesses, the world's most recognizable corporate names. But what they all have in common is that they are closing the gap between aspiration and action on climate change. The judges selected climate leaders from across all categories in these awards, and we were looking for ideas and actions that have a great impact and can influence and inspire others. We saw many great examples among our finalists, but 4 really stood out. And so it is my great pleasure to announce our climate leaders. And they are Acciona, Burberry, Salesforce, and Unilever. Congratulations to our finalists.
So thank you very much, Veronica. We have one of those winners in the room here with us in London tonight. We have some others in Glasgow. We'll hear from them in a moment. But first, the winner here in London, it is Burberry. So if they'd like to make their way to the stage, please. And if you'd like to say a few words, please feel free to do so.
We're absolutely overwhelmed about this. We were not expecting this at all. So thank you so much for awarding this to Burberry. Just a big thank you to my colleagues, my great colleague Ian Brimacombe, who's been a partner with me on this journey, our head of sustainability, Pam Batty, together with HR, Emily, who's dealt with TCFD, and our treasury team, Fiona Rose, who's dealt with our sustainability bond and our recent revolving credit facility. It's been a real team effort. We're so passionate about it. We're going to be climate positive now by 2040. And thank you very much for this award. Thank you.
So we say congratulations to Burberry. Veronica Poole, thank you so much for your assistance. And some more of our climate leaders are in Glasgow with Jackie Bird.
Yes, they are. I have Acciona. First of all, I have a question for you. What does it mean for you to be a climate leader?
Wow,
I know.
It's a difficult
in
question.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I think that the climate leader is to invent the future. It's not a risk. We need to see the climate opportunity as a way to change the way we are thinking and doing things. And today, all the people who is in this room, I think that are climate leaders also.
Well done to you. Wise words. Thank you very much, Acciona. And we have Salesforce. You've had some time to think about it. What would you like to say?
I think I'd first just start by saying thank you to His Royal Highness, A4S, and Jessica, congratulating all of the other finalists as well. What an honor. I'd say the same thing that I said to the judges, which is it's sort of a paradoxical question, because right now what we really so much strive to do is not be the leader, but really to bring the community together in order to reach the speed and the scale that the climate emergency demands. At last, I'd like to just thank our outgoing CFO, Mark Hawkins, who's been a champion for sustainability throughout his time. He recently retired. And our incoming CFO, Amy Weaver, both of whom have been incredible leaders. And in London, Chris and Lisa are in attendance, so congratulations to you both as well.
That's very clever words. Thank you. And thank you to all our climate leaders. Thank you. Thank you both. And that concludes this evening's awards presentations, ladies and gentlemen. A huge congratulations to our winners, to our finalists for entering and sharing your remarkable stories, which I'm sure will influence and inspire and inform us all towards greater action. I'm sure you all agree that we've seen excellent examples of organisations driving change towards that more sustainable economy. I hope you leave here tonight, all of you, inspired to take action. If you want to find out more about tonight's winners, or if you are thinking of entering next year, please visit our awards website, financeforthefuture.org. I'm off to have some more food. I'll hand you back to Declan to close this evening's ceremony.
Jackie, thank you very much. Those of us in London, those of us in Glasgow have a tremendous menu to look forward to. Those of you who've been good enough to watch us from your home or your office around the world, you're going to have whatever's in the microwave in about 30 seconds' time. As Jackie said, we've heard so much to inspire us here tonight. We've heard discussion of the climate emergency and the need for urgent action. The themes we've heard tonight, helping people, helping the planet. We heard SSE talk about the importance of connecting social capital and financial capital. Michael Itza talked about the twin challenges of climate change and the loss of biodiversity, and he said that the time for action is now. And remember what His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, said at the very start of our session, that finance holds our future in its hands. The task is in your hands and is on your shoulders. We say thank you tonight to all of our finalists for their commitment during this process. We say thank you again to our judges, to our assessors, to our awards presenters, and to our virtual audience sharing this evening with us, those sharing it with our friends in Glasgow and us here in London as well. And we also recognise the commitment of our partner organisations, the ICAEW, A4S, Deloitte, and our supporter this year, SSE, in bringing this event together. So we hope that you've enjoyed this celebration with us from here in London and from Jackie in Glasgow. We say thank you and goodbye.